All right, so let's start off with this particular update. Currently, ECOWAS is panicking. This is because an initiative has been taken by certain countries within the ECOWAS bloc. Now, we want you to also know that these countries within the ECOWAS bloc, they've left ECOWAS. I'm talking about these countries which had coup d'etats, and we saw that military rulers and also military leaders came to power. I'm talking about the likes of Mali, Burkina Faso, and so on. Now, these countries, initially, when the coup d'etat happened, we realized that they were part of ECOWAS, and ECOWAS said ECOWAS condemned the coup d'etat. That was the first thing they did, and they also called the country to return back to civilian rule. But most of these leaders, which happen to be military leaders, they stayed in power anyway. But currently, these military rulers have been in power for about 3 to 5 years now, because Ibrahim Traoré, this will be his 3rd year or so. And as I'm speaking to you now, these military rulers have formed an alliance, and this particular alliance that they formed, they are saying that they are no more part of ECOWAS. Now, we'll be playing a video in a bit for you to know and understand what is really happening, how ECOWAS is panicking after this particular news of all these states which had coup d'etat and are currently being run by military rulers. They've come together to form what we call the AES, which means the Alliance of Sahel States. And we are learning that they are going to do 3 things. Number 1, military cooperation. Number 2, security against terrorism, and also political independence from Western influence. Now, what is really shaking the core of ECOWAS is the fact that these AES is now saying that they are going to do their own currency and their own passports to rival the ECOWAS passport and anything that the ECOWAS does. And currently, Mahama is on alert because military cooperation is also coming into focus here. But then just yesterday, Al Jazeera was in Burkina Faso when the whole new AES was formed. AES alliance was formed because now they have a headquarters. They are come to do their own currency, and it is something which is very shocking. So let's just take a look at this particular video and how the AES state, according to Al Jazeera, is now threatening to take on the ECOWAS, and we are very much on high alert because of something, and that's something happening to be how the AES state is planning to increase or perhaps expand their horizon. I think before we watch that particular video, let's put this on the screen for you to understand exactly the context that we are coming, the context that we are talking about here. So let's put this on the screens in a second. So this is it. Okay, good. So what we've placed on the screen is how the AES state, as you can see. So what you see, the red parts, okay, don't focus on the gray part. The gray part is Ivory Coast, Ghana, Benin, Nigeria. These countries are still among ECOWAS. But then the red parts are countries that have formed an alliance. And these alliance or these countries are now being ruled by military rulers. So as you can see, ECOWAS is now more like fragmented. ECOWAS is now Ivory Coast, Ghana, Benin, Nigeria, Guinea, and so. And then AES happen to be these countries which are now being ruled over by military rulers. As to whether they'll come together to form something like a United States of America, we don't know. But then I told you Al Jazeera was in Bamako yesterday. We are learning Burkina Faso also, where the whole AES debuted their first conference, and then they are telling the world what they will do. And definitely this is shaking the core of ECOWAS already.
We're outside the summit of the Sahel Alliance, and look around you, you don't just have men in uniform, you have also so many people of the public. Now, I've covered a few of these gatherings of heads of state in West Africa, and rarely do you see young people attending it. So these officers have managed to get the attention of the young, and they want to not only break away from the regional body ECOWAS, but change the rules of the game. And what they want is more unity among themselves. They've announced inside this building that they want to have a railway connection between the 3 capitals, Bamako, Niamey, Ouagadougou, a new airline, a new investment bank, and they've pulled almost $1 billion without any help of foreign lenders. They say they want to, in the years to come, create their own currency. Now remember, this is a region where there has been free movement of people thanks to the regional body ECOWAS, free trade among the state. And so the fact that these landlocked countries are breaking away from the coastal country will have an effect for the trade of the region, but also for the movement of the people. There's been more movement of Africans within the region than going away to Europe or North America. And so the decisions taken by these three states will have an effect not just in the Sahel, but in the region as a whole.
The things you also realize here is that these Sahel states, okay, alliance of Sahel states, as you can see, even together they have more land mass or land area than even ECOWAS, because all of these countries most of these countries were part of ECOWAS. Now they are saying that we don't want to be part of ECOWAS again. We want to be our own boss. We want to form a new coalition for the interest of the people. Now, what is really threatening is the fact that they want to create a new road system which will be intertwined within the countries. As you heard the reporter say, the reporter is saying that the AES is looking at creating new railway roads which will lead from Mali, which will connect Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger and other environs. It's also looking at new airline space. It's also looking at new investment bank. It's also looking at new currency, new passports, and also new form of government. Now, the concern here is that if the Sahel state is able to do something which is really effective, they will spread their wings, or perhaps countries within a sub-region will want to be part of the AES. And we just saw that some few weeks ago when a coup d'etat happened in Benin, but then it was foiled upon the last attempts or upon the intervention by Nigeria and also the ECOWAS. So there's pressure on ECOWAS. Now, why Mahama comes into this is the fact that Mahama recently is said to be appointed as the African Union chairperson. So he is going to have a whole lot of things to work with or to navigate to bring the whole African continent or perhaps countries within the African space together. And we don't know how he's going to confront this, because Mahama already has gone on tour to most of these countries which are now being ruled by military rulers, and is begging them that, hey, we want you to come back to ECOWAS. We don't care if your country is under a civilian or military rule. We share one common blood. We are from one place. We all have the same skin color. So let's put all of those differences aside and let's just come together for our collective good. And we don't know how Mahama is going to navigate and make sure that this whole thing will come to fruition. Now, one of the things we also want you to know is the fact that the AES, that's Alliance of Sahel States, they selected one leader to lead them. One leader who will basically oversee all their affairs and stuff. And that leader is none other than the man himself, or perhaps the man of the moment, who currently the whole world or most people believe that he is just leading in the right direction. Who am I talking? I'm talking about Captain Ibrahim Traoré. He is the person, that's the picture on the screen, and he is the person who is being chosen to lead the Alliance of Sahel States. So as you can see, this particular report here on the screen, it says Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger set to introduce a new single currency to replace CFA francs. That's their currency. And also, they have selected Captain Ibrahim Traoré to be the leader of the AES state. So if ECOWAS, you have a chair which will be Tinubu or whatsoever, the Alliance of Sahel State, they've also formed a new alliance, saying that the person who can perhaps bring them together, rule them effectively, and make sure they all get something which is of a common good for all of their states is Captain Ibrahim Traoré. Now, one of the things that is also shocking is that they've also created a bank, as I said earlier on, but I didn't really give details as to what this whole bank is about. They've created a bank which will be more like the central bank here in Ghana, but then it will be a central bank which will operate in the AES block. And what we are also learning currently is that this bank which have been set have already pulled an investment of $1 billion. Listen. $1 billion. Now, most of these things I'm saying, you can verify it on CNN, Al Jazeera, Reuters, and so. So, I've done my research before I'm coming here. So, they've pulled an investment fund of almost $1 billion into the new AES bank, which will be launched, or which is currently in fruition, because they've done all the framework. They are just yet to launch their own currency and so forth. And they are saying that they intend to put or spend more money to make sure that the AES bank or whatever it is will have so much money that they can use to invest within their space. And what is even more shocking is that they did all of this without the help of any country without the help of the West, without the help of America. So the question is, all these monies that the AES is pulling here and there, the money was apparently there, but then the heads of state, the previous heads of state, were not using the money for the people or for the collective good of the people. And now the AES is just doing that. So we live to see. But then there are concerns. People are saying that these military rulers, they come to power, they stay on power, and they never want to leave. So what happens is that at a point in time, they are overthrown by their own people, or perhaps people within their own space, or people within their own ranks, and it goes on and on and on. That is why it's of a basic assertion that military rule can never be sustainable. So that is the whole issue which is currently going on, and we are all watching as to what the current or upcoming AU chair, President John Dramani Mahama, who is Ghana's president, how he's going to navigate all of these treacherous space, how it's going to come together, how it's going to bring all of these countries together, the Sahel states, the ECOWAS, and even countries who basically don't want to be part of the African Union alliance again. So this is exactly what is really